So the WB had a lot of stuff coming out news-wise this week that got people excited and didn't get people excited. One got people excited because even though it was announced last year around the same time Nickelodeon released the AllStar Brawl game, we had not really seen anything. I guess you could say cinematic-wise or trailer-wise to give us an idea of what we're going to be in store for. And fortunately, this past week they finally did that. And then the other news comes from the direct upfront deal that's going on for the digital upfront deal, which is going on right now. I think in Las Vegas or Los Angeles. Where a lot of I think companies, studios, streaming services are trying to present potential. I guess you could say products, or not products, but potential shows and movies, a series basically for advertisers to support and everything. So, that's going on. And out of that came some news as well that didn't get many people excited and really hasn't gotten people excited since it was announced. But then again, looks can be deceiving. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the Multiverses. That's right. Warner Brothers made the announcement they were going to do this game around the same time Nickelodeon had released All-Star Brawl, because I guess the whole crossover fighting game genre that really took off with Smash Brothers, and mostly Smash Brothers Ultimate, who really took it to another level, if you catch my drift, with the inclusion of characters you wouldn't expect. Basically, Nickelodeon decided to do one with theirs, and it got a decent reaction, but basically the one complaint is the roster wasn't so good to start with. I mean, it had some great characters, but not the kind that you would expect. And now they're finally kind of rectifying that with the inclusion of Shredder, Garfield, Jenny, Rocco, and I think there's another character as well that they added to go along with that, and probably more to come down the line, because Nickelodeon does have a huge roster of characters that they've created and licensed to own as we speak, or at least bought the rights to temporarily and permanently. But yeah, Warner Brothers decided to counter that with the announcement they're doing Multiverses. And for a while, we were wondering what it was going to look like. The concept and everything looked great, but what we were going to get, what was it going to look like, what was it going to sound like, and we got the trailer finally, and it looked great. Basically the trailer showed off what I think they would consider, the faces of the game. Basically the faces they know they're going to sell the game on to you with. These characters were Batman, Shaggy, Bugs, that one chick from Game of Thrones, if you will, Tasmanian Devil, that one fused girl from Steven Universe. I can't think of her name right now. It's the purple hair. It's the tough girl, if you will. That's two girls in one that were in love with each other, and they married, and they decided to stay fused because that's the one way to stick together. They showed her. They showed that Jake dog from Adventure Time. They showed Harley Quinn, Tom and Jerry, and then at the end they showed Superman and Iron Giant. And again, obviously these are the faces they want to sell the game to you off of, so you can play it. And it's going to be free to play, which again is something that even though fans find as a positive, they also find as a negative, because they know that the only way you're going to get far in some of these games, like with Fortnite, is you got to pay. Either you got to pass certain tests to unlock certain characters, or you're going to have to pay out the wazoo. Well, maybe not out the wazoo, but a certain amount to basically get access to that character, and maybe even access to certain abilities and stages. So even though they're happy it's going to be free to play, they're not thrilled with the fact that to get a full, like in their minds, a full experience, that they may have to pay money for certain abilities, characters, and stuff like that, stages. But we'll see. That's what DC Universe Online did for a bit. That you could, like I said, unlock characters and everything. That was fine, but you also, by achieving stuff. But you also at times had to pay for them if you didn't want to be that patient, or you just had to pay for the characters because there was no other way. So there was that. So, and, Warner Brothers has done this before with DC, like I said, with the DC Universe Online, so it wouldn't be nothing new. But the positive, though, is it's free to play. The only negative is how much are they going to charge for certain other characters and stages and abilities to be utilized in the game. Now, they did show other characters at the end. They did show Finn from Adventure Time. They showed Steven from Steven Universe. They showed that dog character that they originally created for the game. They showed Velma, that's right, and we'll talk about her in a moment. And they showed Wonder Woman and a few other characters as well. So it looks like, in comparison for a free-to-play game, roster-wise, they have basically blown Nickelodeon's AllStar Brawl right out of the water. Just, right off the bat. And it's a free-to-play game. But again, the catch is, what do you have to pay to balance that out? Because nothing is for free, if you catch my drift. Unless David Zaslav is like, hey, we're promoting it free-to-play, we're going to make it free-to-play. Period. Everything free. So we'll see what happens. David Zaslav may say, hey, you're promoting it as free to play, then everything's free. No catch, no paying, or anything like that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Speaking of Velma, who's also in the game, believe it or not, Velma, the person behind the Velma series that's coming out on HBO Max, the animated adult take on Velma, basically serving as an origin, not only showed us the first pictures of what Velma's going to look like, basically be different skin color, ethnic race, if you will, but also described the fact that it's going to be, like I said, for adults. It's going to have nudity, it's going to have gore and everything, unlike, Scooby-Doo is known to have, except the closest being the crossover with Supernatural. But on top of that, the lady behind it, her name is Mindi Kaur or something. She basically came out during the presentation at the Digital Upfront conference that's going on right now as we speak, where streaming services are trying to sell advertisers on some of the program that they're bringing on to sponsor. She basically said, hey, look, I don't care what fans think. Basically, she said, hey, fans are upset about it. Hey, I don't care. They're going to learn to live with it. They're going to learn to like it, kind of deal. Kind of echoing a similar sentiment by Stevenson, Lawrence Stevenson, or Noelle Stevenson, who did She-Ra Princess of Power. So even though it could be a good show, and nobody is, arguing that it won't be, or denying it won't be, just the way she came off in the eyes of a lot of folks by saying, hey, I don't care what others say, it wasn't a good look. So hopefully for her sake, the show turns out exactly the way she's hoping. It turns out good, because if not, it's going to come back to bite her. And that's not